YouTube land. First and foremost, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Today, I have a really short and sweet video for you. It's something that I've been putting off, and unfortunately, the snow is here now, so I need to get this done. Anybody who's been watching me for a long time knows I like to keep my garage pretty neat, so please excuse any mess. I've got about 8 or 9 projects on the go right now, and I had to drop them all to get this done. So today's video is really simple. I am going to be installing a lithium-ion battery in the Canam Defender. Now you're probably wondering, why am I going to do this? Well, I've been having some problems with my Defender. Settle down, Polaris guys. There's nothing wrong with the machine. It's something that I did. My problem is I've added a bunch of accessories. Every time I'm forced to use the winch, which if you've ever plowed before is quite a lot, my heat and my stereo cut out, so I don't think my current battery can actually handle the simultaneous load that all those things are putting on it. There's a lot of hype out there about lithium-ion batteries being a lot more efficient than traditional batteries that you would usually find in these side-by-sides. So instead of going directly to a 2-battery system, having to do a bunch of rewiring, I'm going to try putting in this first and seeing if it's worth the hype. And I know what you guys are thinking. There is a huge advantage to just going directly to a 2-battery system. You can drastically increase the amount of energy that is available for your accessories to pull from, and if you wire it properly, you can actually isolate your accessories from your primary battery to ensure that you never drain your starting battery, and you won't strand yourself listening to the hot new Taylor Swift album out in the woods. So the first thing we have to do is pull the original battery. This is the battery out of the machine. And now there's nothing wrong with this battery. I've tested it. It is working even after 2 years at extremely optimal levels. So this is going to be a really good comparison to actually see if these lithium batteries are just all around better. So the first thing I noticed is the weight difference. Oh my goodness. Obviously on a big behemoth side-by-side like my Defender, that doesn't really matter. But say you really like to go fast, or you're a professional racer, you probably know that extra pounds equals extra seconds on your lap times. So this actually might be a really big bonus for you, because it is like, I want to say less than a quarter of the weight. So just a quick note, if this actually turns out to be a good solution, and you have a Canam Defender, when I went to NOCO's website, so it actually told me to install the NPL20, which is a smaller battery than this one. Lucky for me, the awesome crew at Prairie Batteries in Brandon, Manitoba was able to get me an LP30 really fast, and I was able to compare the dimensions, and I was pretty sure that it was going to work. And everybody knows bigger is always better. One thing you're going to notice if you end up doing this is the amp hours on these more traditional batteries are going to read a lot higher. But I'm not really concerned with that. One is because the older style batteries aren't able to discharge as far as a lithium battery. So say if it says it has 30 amp hours, it's actually only 15 amp hours. But a lithium battery is a lot more efficient, and it's able to discharge and use more of its energy than more traditional batteries. And for me right now, I honestly don't think the amount of power that I have is the problem. It's more about the battery's ability to be able to handle these massive influxes of draw when I'm engaging the winch for the plow. And honestly, I know there are some guys who could probably sit down and do the math and figure that all out. I'm not that guy. I would rather just try it and see if it works. I think it's actually a lot more fun to work with a little bit of supposition and a lot of guesswork and just try something and see if it works. So another real cool thing about this battery that I should point out real quick is that rather than just having the traditional single post, it actually has multiple posts built into it. And as anybody who's done their own wiring knows, it can get pretty busy off your battery. So that's actually a really cool feature. Anyways, let's get this thing installed and see if it was worth the effort. Absolutely no issues with the installation. I hooked up a battery tender and charged this battery all the way to full capacity. I just did a quick preliminary test here in the garage where I engaged the winch with the stereo turned on, but without any music playing, just to see if it would cut out, and it didn't. So I think now the best thing to do is go outside and test it in a more realistic condition. Unfortunately, we do have some snow, but it's not really enough to plow, but I'll still go out there and pretend like I'm plowing, just so we can see that this thing will actually perform in real life conditions. Let's get after it. So long story short, I've tested it. Sorry I can't show you guys. YouTube's got a really strong copyright monetization policy, and I really need the 37 cents I'm gonna make from this video because I'm saving up for a long travel kit. I can have my music on, my heater on, and put the winch in and out, and it doesn't cut the music off and make it reset, and it doesn't cut my heat off. When I turned all my lights on, so like my high beams and then my auxiliary speed demon lights, then it would cut out. But if you guys are really looking to run like a whole bunch of stuff and not have to worry about anything cutting out, maybe a bigger battery or even going to a second battery might be the only solution. Personally, me, I'm happy for now. I just want to be able to plow all day long, listen to my music, have the sub bump in, and get some heat in here. I will post updates on the longevity of it, any other issues I have with it, and how well it does in the cold temperature. Obviously, it's inside a heated cab and I parked it in the garage, but if I park it outside, I will let you guys know. Please subscribe, check out my other videos, and until next time, keep your head up and that throttle down.